Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. This is Daily Trade Analysis with a quick market update for today, June 7th. Today, we only got on economic data NBA 30-year mortgage. The rate is slightly going lower from 6.91 to 6.81, but applications are still in the negative. So people are still not willing to, obviously, at these high rates, to just commit to a mortgage. Refinance is still going lower, so they are not either applying nor refinancing. And actually, the index is going lower. So this means that at these higher interest rates, this demand for mortgages is actually cooling down. That's the only thing that we can see. That obviously, at these levels, there's no demand for mortgages on the 30-year rate. Apart from that, nothing new on the economic data horizon. So let's focus on the technical analysis. This is the Nasdaq futures. This is the 30-minute chart. And as you can see, I am watching these points of resistance. This is Mondays and this is yesterday. So between these two levels, I would like to see continuation for the daily, but as you can see in the daily, we are having a nice red day, 1.62 red on the Nasdaq. The S&P is stronger, but still in the red, 0.44. But if we will go back to the 30-minute chart, I was watching to these supports, this 30-minute support, and the day of the squeeze on Thursday, this pullback intraday. We have also this previous resistance on that day that went through, and I was also watching that for support, but neither of these four levels are providing support. And I think that's because on this day, on Thursday, if we go to the 5-minute chart and we go back to that day, this was a really emotional day, going higher, really strong day. And there's a lot of the market spent way less time at these levels. And if we want to retest, we are not going to see a lot of buyers down here. So we are going to see on the extremes, either the downside or either on this pullback. Looks like we are not finding support at these levels. Most probably we are going to, at least this week, to retest this 14,270. The 30-minute chart still looks strong to the downside, so very weak today. And this is where all the shorts that were trying to short the Nasdaq got squeezed, and we are coming back down. So today's price action was really surprising for me. I was looking for longs for continuation to the upside, but looks like tech and specifically some of the high weighted like Apple, Microsoft, Google, and Amazon have different plans. We are going to review those charts, but first let me highlight the fact that we are rejecting this gap entry. This white box is the gap that we have on the Nasdaq futures between 14,652 until 7780. This is coming from the 6th of April of last year, and we are trying to continuously try to fill this gap. We couldn't do that on Monday, we couldn't do that today, and looks like we are finding weakness. And at that point, I would like for markets to really repair the downside move that we left a lot of gaps in all these tech stocks. I would like for those to be retested and find buyers at those levels. So if we remove these levels that didn't provide any, well, let me first, I tried along down here and I just got in profit, but I think it was 150 or something like that. Very small day because I was not looking for shorts. I don't want to get squeezed on this market. So I'm just waiting for my opportunity to buy pullbacks. If it is not today, I will continue looking for that because the overall trend is just to the upside. And unless big news big economic data comes out, I think the market will try to find buyers and continuing higher. That is the overall trend in this market. Still, the 45 PMA, the 45 moving average is just providing a lot of resistance. That means that there's a lot of selling pressure today. Point of control is around the middle of the value, so that's quite interesting. And if we check the S&Ps are not as red, but still looking trending lower, but very, very, very normal trading day with the point of control right in the middle, value area high, value area low, big range on value, and big range on the Nasdaq too. So very weird day in terms of value, in terms of daily levels. I mean, this candle is just quite big. So I'm expecting for now to just pull back to this zone. 14,000 might provide support, is also the 61.8 fib retracement. So I think if we would like to find this continuation with this low, if we want to find a higher low down here, I think it's probable to just find support at this psychological level and technical levels of fib retracement and 14,000. So that will be my plan for this week. Let's see if that happens. But for now, we are seeing weakness across the board. Apple is clearly rejecting the all-time highs. As you can see, big red candle, extreme topping tail, almost another topping tail today, rejecting 182. That is the all-time highs, the previous all-time highs. And we try to go higher, but if we check the 5-minute, the 30-minute, sorry, we just couldn't feel this repair. So we are just going lower. It's now on support Apple, so I expect some buyers to step in to try to catch some bids. But Microsoft, look at this. Microsoft is really putting a really bad day. I mean, this for Microsoft is quite interesting. We have this gap left below the daily level around 323. And given that Apple and Microsoft are in the red, that's why we are seeing a lot of selling pressure and a lot of weakness on the Nasdaq. Also, Amazon is quite in the red, 3.70 in the red today. If we check the 1-minute chart, it's just selling pressure everywhere. Point of control looks maybe better, but I don't expect markets to just retrace a lot of today's red day. So Google also quite in the red, 3.81. So we have 4 of those: Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and Google quite in the red today. And with all those, the Nasdaq is suffering, and also the S&Ps, because all those are pretty high weighted on the market cap on the S&Ps. So that's probably why we're seeing this red day. Nvidia 1.34. I mean, let me tell you, I still don't see any pattern here. It's just chop everywhere. I mean, not even in the 30-minute chart. I think I am waiting for this support at 378 to just break for a nice move lower. And I think down here, there's probably a lot of buyers. And Meta 1.53. Tesla is the only one in the green today because of news. Elon Musk is trying to expand Tesla in other countries. If we check the 1-minute chart, I mean, we are in the green due to after hours. But look at this price action since the open. Since the open, if we check the price range, that was the open, we are down 1.64. So pretty bad day for every single one of the stocks in the Nasdaq. And that's probably why dollar is pushing higher. But still, if we check the dollar, we don't see actually a lot of strength. I was expecting way more for this move to go up. Dollar is being pushed back down. We are still holding this 103.57, 103.50 that is providing support. here, but dollar is getting quite choppy. Given the pullback that we are seeing in the overall markets, I was expecting to see dollar more strong, way stronger. But if you check the yields are, the 2-year yield is actually 1.80, and this is causing the market to really pull back, 3.40% in the 10-year. Why are we seeing these yields pushing up? Bank of Canada today raised rates again 25 basis points, and basically let me check, because I would like to review some of those. Hold on, because there are some statements from the Bank of Canada that are really interesting. Bank of Canada continues to expect inflation to ease to around 3% in the summer, but the underlying inflation, the core inflation, remains stubbornly high globally. Major central banks are signaling that rates might have to rise further to restore price stability. And also, let me check. That was yesterday. I would like to share with you. Okay, Bank of Canada will continue to evaluate whether evolution of excess demand, inflation expectations, wage growth, and corporate pricing behavior are consistent with achieving inflation target. So these are the 4 main issues that we already have in the US economy. Excess demand, people continue spending. Inflation expectations, people really think that inflation is going down, but there's no way. We are not seeing big enough progress to the downside and even cooling down the inflation. Wage growth, we are still seeing payrolls going higher, spending going higher, income, jobs still pushing a lot of jobs open. I mean, people have a lot of money at their disposal, and that's an issue for inflation. And finally, corporate pricing behavior, corporate greed. Corporations, big businesses, big tech, all the consumer businesses are not lowering prices. If you go out and start shopping, you can see that prices are not going down. And this is corporate pricing behavior. They are not willing to lower these prices because they want profits. So Bank of Canada has it very clear, and that's why they will continue raising rates this year, at least one more time this year. And the thing that Bank of Canada is doing, it's affecting US economy expectations. That's why we are seeing all these yields going higher like crazy. And I think that's bad. Markets starting to realize that maybe their expectations is are not real based on what kind of statements Fed are sharing with us. And tech stocks are really sensitive to this higher pricing, higher rates. So gold, it's also minus 1% today. Copper in the red, silver in the red. Everyone is pulling back. The only thing that is green, that is the dollar, and maybe it's kind of a positive thing today, it's small caps. Even Bitcoin is down 2.80, but it is due to the SEC suing Binance and Coinbase. But if we go to the other part of the risk on, look at this huge move from the Russell. Huge move. Now we are at this level, 187 on small caps. And if we check the equal weighted S&P's 500, the RSP, this is up also to 0.50. So if we check these levels, we kind of see that the rest of the market are trying to push higher. Nasdaq is pulling back, but the rest of the normal economy, the rest of the normal market that is not fueled by AI hype and FOMO, it's actually going higher. And this is called breadth. Breadth is actually improving. We are approaching 50%. Today, one nice day, 9% increase. This is a chart that shows you the percent of stocks above the 200-day moving average. I have several videos talking about this, that breadth is actually going lower and lower. But now things are changing and we are actually seeing more and more other parts of the market going higher. So it's not all about Nasdaq. I trade Nasdaq, I focus on the Nasdaq, but Nasdaq is not all the market. There's a lot of stocks that are undervalued, that are receiving inflows from investors that are really looking for fair value. And fair value is not longer on the Nasdaq. You can see this is why I've been saying this since we broke out at 13,400. Nasdaq is overpriced, overvalued. There's no way an investor is willing to really invest long term at these levels. So investors and traders, swing traders, and even hedge funds are trying to find value in other markets. And one of the things they are finding is small caps. There's a lot of stocks that are under the 200 moving average. As I was mentioning, there's like 50% of them. So they are just trying to find value in those to find growth in other parts of the market. Now that the Nasdaq is hyperinflated. So it is what it is. Markets function this way. Investors are also willing to find good deals. And right now, Nasdaq overall is not a good deal. That's a fact. So final thoughts. Look at this. This is the Nasdaq. There's nothing strong today on the Nasdaq. There's nothing you can really see on the Nasdaq that it's strong. We just have, if you want to buy tech, you have to really wait for the pullback and wait for those opportunities on higher lows. I was mentioning on the daily, higher lows about around fib retracement, things like that. If you want to short the market, you can do it, sure, for the pullback, but be careful because tech, it's super strong on this trend up, and I don't want to get part of that high squeeze shorts. I'm bearish on the long term, but right now, until Nasdaq really breaks this pattern, like this one, or coming into this area of support that we broke out, there's no way I'm going to short this market. So, well, it's just patience. So as always, thank you for your time. If you found this video useful, please remember to click the like button and subscribe to the channel to receive notifications when I upload new videos. Remember that I upload new videos every single day for market forecasts, market updates, and market recaps. I appreciate your time as always. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for following me. I hope you had an amazing trading day. If you were short, congratulations. And if you are long like me for day trading, just remember that discipline, patience, and more than ever, look at this. Risk management is key for your success. So stay safe, everyone, and see you tomorrow.